Hello, after a very long absence, I am back and I have probably forgotten anything that I ever knew about this microphone or recording or anything. So there will be no increase in quality. I apologize. And here we have the Six of Cups that I owed you like, I don't know, 9 months ago. I meant to do them forever ago. Here they are in the box, which is probably dusty. I don't know if it's good news. They've been sitting here all together for that length of time, marinating. Maybe these are the most powerful Six of Cups to ever exist. Who knows? But we will go through them. I don't know. We've probably got 50 some to look at here today. Um, a good mix of them. I don't think I've acquired too many additional decks, and a lot of these are mainstream ones. I haven't really gotten into like ordering or Kickstarter or anything like that, so I just have commonly available decks. Let's start out with a definition of the card from a book here. This one that I like to use. I don't know, I just think it's a great, like, I don't know, a basic introduction. You can find it at stores. It'll usually have a different cover. This I think was some kind of discounted one that I got at a Five and Below, but you can still find it at your local witchy store or even probably regular bookstore. So the Six of Cups is one of the minor arcana. Here you can see kind of a pip depiction of it. You've just got literally six cups, and it's got like that water element in there as well. It's usually considered a pretty positive, happy, nostalgic card. It's, thinking back on happy thoughts. The reverse, I guess, would be stagnation, maybe too much focus on the past. And then, you can pause it if you want some additional ideas from this book, but I find this very handy for journaling. It's got kind of an interpretation, ways to think about how the card may make you feel or make you think about the current events in your life. And then it's even got some action plans like, hey, if this card pops up, what would be a good way to connect with that card? And that's one, reconnect with the past. Think about the nostalgia that you might be encountering or that something might be reminding you of in your day-to-day life, or to find simple, innocent childhood pleasures, right? If you've got it reversed, maybe you need to learn from something in the past or draw boundaries so that your past isn't continuing to affect you, right? Or to look for closure for something that happened before. So, I really have kind of viewed this card as a bit fluffy, a bit superficial, just because it's never really popped up in my spreads or as my daily card very often. So, honestly, before it came up as one of my monthly cards during a year spread, I never really thought of it very much at all. I'll be honest. So it kind of took me for a surprise because I think for me it was showing up in a reversed way. Now let's see what we can get from the various depictions in the cards that I've got here. As always, you can fast forward through my stuff. I'm kind of a slow speaker. I use this as a study tool, so I get in kind of a contemplative mood or something strikes me, so I take more time on it. And I'll try and present them in groups and I'll put chapters in. So if you want, you can just go to those chapter headings and maybe look at the images yourself and come up with your own ideas or thoughts about them. And, again, I'm no expert, so my thoughts are maybe not even useful. So take what works for you and leave the rest, as always. So let me organize these into groups a little bit at least. Okay, all right, I have found, let's talk about these more standard depictions, and then we'll move on to ones that get progressively weirder. Should I lean this one up? That's annoying. It's like a giant bar of light. All right, so you can rest on Pyrite Gengar. Yeah, I just thought this was so funny at my little store. Pyrite usually like attracting abundance and wealth. We're gonna bully abundance and wealth into our life. It's encouraging me to, I don't know, steal little kids' lunch money or something. Okay, and we'll rest this one on here. There we go. Big improvement. I'm such a professional. Let's see. So here we have kind of the standard um, depiction. So here we've got, I don't know, I feel like I don't have the exact original. This one is like Tarot Vintage, I think it's called, so the colors are a bit washed out on it. This is the round version, so some of the additional stuff on the side was added. I really like it. It gives a feeling of more space in a lot of the cards, which is fun. And then I have the Modern Witch Tarot, which is usually very true to the original imagery in terms of like what is in the scene, I suppose, but you know, has a more diverse cast of characters, if you will. So let's just kind of start with this one here. We've got like a younger child, usually a little girl, and then an older person here. And we've got these various 6 like flower pots here. We're in some kind of village of some sort. You've got a guard in the background. And, you know, it's generally a very peaceful, friendly card. I think some people interpret it as giving gifts, or, you know, maybe receiving if you see yourself as this person here. I've got some very similar imagery here. I've got the same color on the flowers. These are like white star flowers here, which might be similar to the Fools, if I recall correctly, which I probably don't, let's be honest. And then here we've got some houses in the background, the cute little ones, you know, indicating they could be in a suburb or maybe in a town area, who knows. But we've got the 4 like goblets here instead, and we've got like some like clouds and sparkles there. So a little bit of different change, but you still have a youth here, and they're being handed something by an older person, or an adult, if you will. This is again a very standard depiction. It's just kind of reduced to the symbols, which I do like. It's called the Everyday Tarot. It's just a little one I got on like a spinning kiosk at Barnes and Noble or something like that. But I do think it's helpful because it kind of reduces it to the symbols in the image, if that makes sense. You know, we've got a building in the background. It looks like we're in a city. We've got a wall there. The 6 goblets, and it's being gifted from an older person to a younger one. Okay, here we go. This is the Aquarian Tarot. I think this is like a little mini tin version or something like that. Again, we've got the 6 items, and they are holding flowers, kind of like the original, although they have a variety of them. Definitely more interesting ones here. And this one, they're maybe almost on more equal footing. One's maybe a little higher up, so you can still get the implication of giving, but they almost seem to be enjoying it together. So you could maybe get some little different interpretations out of this one. Maybe they're smelling the flower and a memory is springing up from that, and they're just enjoying a nice day with someone that they care about. I don't know what this head garment is. This is from the Mystical Manga Tarot, which just has kind of like a manga, I don't know, art style. And again, the depiction is still very traditional, I think. We've got the goblets with flowers in them. These kind of look like lotuses, actually. And again, you still have an older person gifting to a younger one. So, you know, can make you think of present and past self is, I think, a lot of ways that people interpret it as well. And this one actually they left with water in it, you know, which I think is a good reminder for just the element of water, that it can often be an emotional card, a card having to do with your memories and your emotions and how you felt at different times in your life, right? And this one I believe is from the Tarot of Haunted House. And again, a very usual depiction in the back. This is a bit of a slightly darker deck, but this is still a very positive daylight sunny card here. In the back, we do have something that looks like maybe like a large greenhouse or aviary. So it does have kind of like a cage element that you might that might show up in some of your readings. But again, we've got the 6 items with white flowers, again, the traditional white flowers here. And this one even more so maybe would be, I mean, obviously it could be a mother and daughter or aunt and niece or something like that, but you know, just because they look very similar, it could be present self and your past self or your inner child for sure. And I do want to look at the guidebooks for these two. I want to see Barbara Moore and Sasha Graham's, what they've written for these. Barbara Moore's interpretation is very positive as well. She doesn't really mention the flowers or if they have any particular meaning, although I do believe lotuses are going to show up later in some other books or some other cards as well, so we'll see if lotus has a set meaning somewhere else. You know me. I never come through with the symbology. It's always on my to-do list, and I'm still not an expert at that. Yes, but this is small but heartfelt acts of kindness. If you're giving a gift, do it with kindness. If you're accepting it, you can take it without suspicion. So, gift giving comes up in these ones a lot. And then if it's reversed, it often has to do with romanticizing the past and things like that. I won't show you this guidebook because it was actually just a little white booklet, and I took the time to write it out in a little journal myself. And Sasha Graham also did a YouTube series adding some information about the cards, and I went through and took notes from that as well. She said, for this one, gifts of the heart last forever, and being kind to yourself is being kind to the world. Nostalgia, gifts, offer, memory lane, shared, heart. So those are kind of the key words and, the information. So, okay, let's move on to the next group. All right, let's do ones that are kind of similar-ish, but are maybe going a little bit. There we go, is it focusing? But maybe that are going a little bit off the beaten track. All right, so here's the next batch. Let's see, I think this one is, I want to say the Bee Tarot. Is it? Yes, it's called the Bee Tarot. Aren't these backs cute? The book's really pretty too. Like, it's got like sprayed edges and just a bunch of colors. Anyways, so here we have actually more of a filled out scene. We're actually indoors, so we've got a lot more backgrounds here. They call them jars instead of cups here, but we still have two siblings. One's holding a jar and the other's eating from it, so presumably this one is either sharing, if not necessarily gifting, but either way we have an adult here who is working on gathering or dispersing the honey. So I guess you could say this is the older person gifting the honey to the two kids this time. We've got apples in a basket here, some additional fruits on the table, mostly apples again, which I do think show up in some other cards. So maybe apples and lotuses we'll have to look up or something. We've got some more honey in the background and just cute details on the little mugs here. I always enjoy looking at the backgrounds on these cards. Oh, we've got actually maybe like a little goddess statue here. How cute, and some beeswax candles probably. Maybe some little grapes there. Just think this is beautiful scenery. I don't mind a busy background. I think it's fun. You can pull out a lot of different items sometimes. I think honey and a bee motif works out really well here because the sweetness of nostalgia or the sting of your past coming back to get you. You can definitely read that multiple ways, but overall it's a very positive and sweet scene for sure. Okay, this one's a little bit weirder. I think this is maybe Tarot of the Witch's Garden or something like that. I think these are pretty backs. And we've got the Six of Cups, and this time we have a scene where we've got two little fairies. So they're in a little underground, and a bee is large compared to them. So we've got some little underground grubs, but we still have the 6 cups filled with flowers. I even think these bugs are kind of cute in here. I remember finding these pill bugs, especially when I was a kid. You know, because I'm a dinosaur now. I was born so long ago. I remember turning over rocks and looking for these little bugs to to roll up into their little balls. But yes, we still have one handing the cup to the other. Cute. This is the Pastoral Tarot. These are very cute backs as well. More of a wide one here. And we've got a cute little dog in the background messing up the work. But we've got a bunch of berries here and butterflies in the sky. And we still have, you know, what looks like an older kid or an adult um, actually getting something from the kid this time. So it's a little bit reversed. You know, I wonder if I would be maybe more inclined to read this as receiving something from your inner child or getting something sweet from your past, something like that. And just because this is on a farm scene, I think I would be inclined to maybe think more about work or labor or, you know, kind of putting in effort more so than I would in the other cards, or they're just kind of handing over flowers that are there without any indication of how they got or gathered them. So maybe more ruminating is what I would think of, just maybe more of an extensive process here. This one is some kind of dream tarot. Oh, how annoying. These guidebooks never have the name on it. They'll have some, you know, cutesy punny name, and I just want it to have the name of the tarot on it because I don't keep the box. Oh well, I will put the right name in the description box though, probably on the chapter heading. But yeah, so this one is a collage, a photo collage deck, which I don't super love, but you can still see the same sorts of imagery here. They've even done like a big brick turret castle type building here. We've got some birds in the distance and the water element here in the water feature, maybe, or maybe it's fog. Honestly, I don't know. But again, they have the goblets with flowers, although they've got a big variety here. They didn't stick to white or a single variety like the other ones. And we've still got an adult gifting to a child here. Really testing me, and I am failing. What is this one? I use this one all the time. Why? Oh, geez. It's the Gilded Tarot Royale. I knew this one. Okay, so we've got, again, they might actually be the same age. We do have one standing and sitting, so it kind of, you know, reflects the imagery on other cards. In this one, we have cups, but we've got little mice in them instead. Mostly they're empty, but have some golden, happy light coming out of them. We've got a variety of happy flowers, and overall, it just looks like a happy summer day. Maybe harkening back to when you were a kid and playing outside. I'll move that one over there. And this is the Pulp Tarot. They put the name on the back. I like that. Handy for me. And we've got Six of Cups again, and it's just more of a like a retro poster feel to this deck. So they've got, you know, the two characters, one handing the goblet of flowers to the other, and we've got kind of the traditional family home in the background here. And this one actually has some similarities to this, where they might be in the field picking strawberries here as well. So I think my comments about this one would apply equally here, although these two are not facing each other. They are working together, probably to enjoy all of the berries equally. So maybe there's less of a gifting aspect here, although presumably the mom has brought the child here. So that could be the gift of time spent. you know, maybe they've gone berry picking or something like that. You know, kind of like I think of those orchards too. So it could be their place. They do have a bunch of baskets, so you know maybe their own strawberry field. So I guess you could think of it in a labor way or a gift of spending a day doing a fun activity. You can interpret it either way, I think. Same with both of these, really. All right, let's wait. No, I forgot one. Oh my goodness, why didn't you stop me? This is the Tarot of the Divine. That's what it is, where each card is based off a fairy tale. And the one thing I have acquired, the book. So, you know, I already had, I mean, it comes with a little guidebook, but you have to get the book of the fairy tales they reference separately, which, what do I think about that? What do I think about that? I don't love that it didn't come in the guidebook, but I understand to fit in the box, the guidebook had to be a little smaller, I guess. But, you know, I have it and I can refer to it. So let's look up the tale that's for this one here. Oh, and if you want a bit of a closer look, we've got, again, one person handing a goblet of flowers to the other, and they're in a cute little, maybe Swedish house with mountains in the background. I don't know, let's see. Oh, I will say it does not list. It doesn't go by the name of the card. The Six of Cups? All right, well, don't you worry. I'm going to find it. Okay, so this is the tale referenced by the card. You can see the picture in a little bit more detail here, and it's a Denmark one. Sorry, both Sweden and Denmark, I did get you mixed up. And it is talking about two children who live next to each other and share everything. So some things go wrong in the middle. There's, you know, adventuring. He is able to stop feeling cold and to start feeling emotions again. So, you know, that does feel like inner child work and, you know, fixing the things that might be hurting you that you picked up a long time ago. So, yep. Okay, let's move on to the next section. All right, so here we have, I believe this is the Druidcraft Tarot. So I think it's one of the larger tarot cards that I have, or tarot decks. In this one, we've got two children playing together. One is technically maybe handing flowers to the other, so you still have that sort of element. You've got the 6 goblets full of flowers, or I assume they're flowers. Yeah, they are. Yeah, those are flowers. But you also have an adult watching them, which I think is even more interesting. I think it does lend itself towards the nostalgia or looking back at the past, reading even more strongly just because of that, because you have a viewer rather than someone who's really like in the scene itself. Dun, dun, dun. This one is the Adventure Tarot. This one I like quite a bit. And we've got two friends who are out at a lake. So we do have a water element. This is a nighttime scene, which I think is unique. Mostly these are very sunny, happy cards. And I think this is a happy card as well. And you've got the 6 cups here. And you know, I don't know that I would read quite as much into this one as other cards. I would get the sense of like, you know, happy friendship, like memory making, core memory, that sort of thing from this as well. And this one you have, you know, an older person sitting here gifting some younger folks with a story, which kind of directly makes you think of the past, or a tale, or a lesson learned, or just looking back, right? Oh, and this is from the Tarot of Doors. Most of them have a door in it of some sort. You know, This one just has a book, which I guess is a door to the past or the future or another world, but not a literal one in that one. This one is, aren't these cute little duck feet? Adorable. Anyways, this is the tarot of fairy tales or something. I'm gonna have to find the boxy box. Where is it? I lied. I think it's the Woodland Fairy Tale Tarot. Isn't this cute art? But obviously I had to pick it up because I love nature scenes and I love fairy tales. So I'm not entirely sure what this one is unless it's the Goose Girl, because I think these are like farm goose. Aren't they cute? But yeah, we've got the 6 cups here, and she's, you know, gifting some feed or some seeds to the little goose there. And again, we have a very sunny, happy scene. Let's see what fairy tale this is specifically. Oh, it's another one of those decks. It's another one of those decks where it just kind of references a fairy tale but doesn't tell you what one it is. Are these copyrighted or something? Killing. Anyways, here's what it says. Yep, it's just talking about time gone by, good memories, nostalgia, or when you need to kind of investigate the past. Yeah, inner child. Oh. Okay. All right, so no people in this one. This is the Slavic Legends Tarot, so it won't be available in stores, but you can order it. And I loved this tarot, so I had to get it. Isn't it pretty? Look at all the moss. So I've got all the cups, each of them which have different cute little details on them. And then we have actually I think it's like a father deer this time, and a little fawn. So, you know, not handing the fawn anything, but, you know, probably teaching the fawn things and showing them around and protecting them, things like that. Cute. Oh, this one. A regretted purchase, but I won't get rid of it. I think it's the Curious Creatures Tarot. I just don't connect with it that much. I mean, it's well done. It's well done, I think. Anyways, we do have an adult elephant and a little baby here. You know, maybe a picture frame that's interesting. I'd have to, you know, if this is taken as being a picture, then, you know, you obviously get the present reflecting on the past implications, right? So, okay, yeah, so I see the red flower here, so this is probably the elephant as a child in an image here. So, you know, this person, you know, and these glasses are usually worn by older folks, so you just really get the idea that this person is reflecting on a time when they were younger or a time in the past. So this is the Kawaii Tarot. Isn't it adorable? I like this one very much. It's by Lulu Mayo. There's 2 tarots with that name, so, you know, make sure to get the one by Lulu Mayo. The other one's a pip deck. I don't like it nearly as much. So for this one here, we do have the 6 cups. You can see 4 of them are hidden over here, and they have the same shape as the one from the more like standard traditional tarots, but they're holding these cute little plastic ones like what you would get at a fair or a circus. And we've got these 2 little penguins, and they're riding on the carousel here. So not really gifting necessarily, but it looks like it's more about friendship and enjoying time together and a sunny, happy memory. I don't think we talked about this one. This is the Crow Tarot, where crows are the subject in all of them. And here we have a bunch of goblets here. I want to say these are almost nests. Do you think those are flowers or nests? I think nests. I think they would look more flowery if they were flowers, I suppose. And, you know, if you've got an adult bird here, thinking back on the nest and eggs, it does give you that past and present sense. Here we've got these red flowers are in a lot of the Crow Tarot, so I don't know if they have any special meaning unless they're poppies, which I think are for remembrance a lot of the time, and sunflowers, which are, you know, usually associated with happiness or something like that. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next grouping. I think we might be at the point where we're talking about a bunch of animal tarot stuff. Or animal or plant cards. This is a plant. Oh, another goose. Okay, so this one is actually, I think I got this one in, oh, what's that publisher? Hay House? Like a Hay House box. I didn't think I was going to like it. It just doesn't look like my style of tarot. It's got these big, colorful borders. But, you know, and I don't like the backs. So I think this is actually one of the cards, the High Priestess, maybe. And I hate when the back is one of the cards because then I'm thinking about the High Priestess when I'm shuffling. And I want to be more neutral. But anyways, it is good. Whenever I read with it, it always gets me. It's always got a zinger. But anyways, so we've got the Six of Cups. And, you know, I do like that they've got, if you can't get something from the image, you know, you can always get something from, you know, the term here or this text box. So we've got the love and care of children could become an important part of your life, or people from your childhood may return to it. Old memories can be healed, or possibly old childhood dreams are ready to be revived. So this is definitely like an upright, positive meaning that's expressly written on the card. We've got a little goose and two little babies, and this one's even handing a flower to the other, which is quite cute. A water tower in the background for the water element even. Okay. This one is the Hush Tarot, which is kind of like a darker, grimmer, grittier tarot, I guess I would say. A lot of the images are more like visceral, I suppose I would say. But for this card, even the Hush Tarot is going a little bit lighter on you. You've got the cups here, and you just have these hairs. So of course he hasn't gone for, you know, really round, fluffy bunnies. He's gone for the, you know, the lankier hair, of course. But yeah, I think you can get the usual sorts of implications, especially because rabbits can do some damage, I'm sure, especially if they're cornered. But you know, they're a prey animal. They're usually seen as, you know, fluffy, friendly, non-threatening. So overall, a positive card. All right, let's get out the guidebook for that one. I'm sure he said something goofy. Oh, see, I know it. I knew he picked hairs for a specific reason. Yeah, reflecting on the memories of the past can be beautiful, but not every cup is standing. Not all times were good, and it is important to remember the lessons of the past when dealing with current circumstances. The rabbit runs from the past, the hare jumps forward and lives in the present. Nice. Yeah, I like the Hush Tarot. Good for shadow work, I would say, or getting a unique reading from something you've seen before. All right, so this is the Linestrider Tarot. And here we have, oh, I don't know, lemurs. I really have no clue. We've even got kind of a similar building. It's got a little tower and a little wall there. And we've got one handing flowers to the other, actually. So let's see what the guidebook says about this one. It's probably something unique. Yes, she's got lemurs. She's chosen lemurs for this one because they are playful and joyful. And then she's actually handily provided a Thoth system description, which will come in handy for us later. In the Thoth system, this card is called Pleasure, and it indicates the experience of deep emotions that come after passing through something difficult and are now able to enjoy the pleasures of harmony and love. So, excellent guidebook and a playful, happy card in that one as well. Okay. This one we have the Murder of Crows Tarot, a deck that I find very playful and fun, even though it's black and white and kind of like grim dark looking. But here we have a crow looking at itself in the mirror. I think of it looks like a dark scene, but honestly, I see this as being kind of playful. Just imagine a crow looking at its own reflection in a window or something like that. They're just very curious creatures. So examining yourself, examining, your present, or thinking about where you've come from. So, definitely a more roundabout way to come to the same ideas there. And you might get quite different readings with this than a normal looking Six of Cups, of course. And here we have the Dark Wood Tarot. Yes, I do try and get anything Sasha Graham made, so she's going to feature a lot in these. Let's see. Again, we have a parent bird feeding the little babies, and we do have the cups, and it's got the white flowers again, kind of like what the traditional card has, and the Fool as well, I believe. And this last one here, I think this is the Spiderweb Tarot. It's all black and white with animal features. And here I feel like we have the lotus here as well. With that, maybe the lotus is just for the water element. That could be why so many cards incorporate it. It's just kind of a related flower, probably. And here we have giraffes. We've got an adult giraffe and a younger one here, and one, like bending or reaching out to the other. So you do get the same sort of imagery, if more abstract, right? So let's go on. Onward to the next. Let's see, what do we got? More weird stuff, I'm sure. I keep meaning to just leave out Motherpeace because I don't work with that tarot at all. Some of the cards are kind of weird, but I've already flashed it around because I forgot to take it out. So we shall leave it in. Oh, I've got too many. All right, we'll do these next. All right. Let's do this one first because am I sure this is the Six of Cups? No, I'm not. It says 6. The cups are right there. Yes, it is the Six of Cups. Jeez. Okay. Okay, so here we've got the Six of Cups, and we've got like a fair play, or like a little puppet show that you would see at like a fair or a carnival. And these, I'm assuming, are some creepy kids. So they're having a little childhood memory here. And I'll get the guidebook out for this because they usually have good descriptions in this one too. Did I say what this is? Did I say what this is? Did I just start without saying? This is the Deviant Moon Tarot. Again, I'd never pull the Six of Cups. That's why I don't think about them much because I don't pull them. Oh, I didn't think about it, but there are hands in the puppets, obviously, so, or something directing it on sticks. So they are still kind of giving the children something with their hands, even if it's a bit of a unique manner. You know what? There's a lot going on, but I'm gonna let you pause on that if you want. We're all business today. We're just gonna keep it moving. All right, we got the Six of Cups here, and this is the Tarot of Mystical Moments, I think. Yes. So instead of 6 cups, we've got these 6 balloons, which is unusual because that's more, it just makes me think of more of an air element instead of like a watery emotional cup one. But we still have the same sort of vibes. It's a sunny, beautiful day for creating memories. And we've got a woman here who may be thinking about a past memory where she flew balloons with her loved ones or friends. And so she's contemplating that. And so I think you get the same sort of feel from it. Again, Motherpeace Tarot. Look, we've got the water element here. We've got the 6 cups. It's a sunny day. Make of it what you will. Make of it what you will. This is the tarot fifth spirit tarot, I want to say. I think this is one of the best tarots, frankly. I just think it's really clever and good. So technically their minors are a little bit pippish, but the items that they give you are so descriptive, right? So all of these kind of do remind me of childhood and make me think of reflection on the past. So we've got here catching lightning bugs in a jar, something you might have done as a child, collecting teeth, leaving them for the tooth fairy. We've got kind of like an old looking soda can, just reminds you of a bunch of summers having a pop on a hot day, going to the beach and filling a bucket of sand, wearing yourself out, carrying it around, making a sand castle. You even got a little band-aid for when you scrape your knee being out and about. And this really old-fashioned wastebasket, like I recognize it and it does make me think of the past, but that like wire basket is so old. I don't even think I saw it, but if it'd be anywhere, it'd be probably in schools, maybe in offices back in the day, and then just an old plant. So yeah, I like that one quite a bit. This I think is from the horror tarot, something like that. It's the same artist as the Darkwood tarot, so you might notice some similarity here. We've got lilies, which often like a funeral or death flower, which suits like, the grimmer version of this. This is probably, I feel like maybe a reference to The Exorcist or something like that. So I feel like you would be merited in reading this one, maybe more as a reversal or more dealing with something that comes up from your past and, maybe getting rid of it for good. This looks like a scary memory. All right, yeah, this one is from the Tarot of Vampyres. We've got a beautiful young-looking girl who is kind of just looking contemplatively, staring off into the distance. You don't have 6 cups, but, it says what it is. Grails are cups in this deck. It's filled with blood, which I guess could be kind of intimidating, but it's a tarot of vampires, so I think overall this is a pretty calm and positive card. We've got a snake here, but I did glance at the guidebook. I think he just intends it to mean sensuality. He does like incorporating something sexy. So I don't think I would necessarily read this as like treachery or anything like that might be associated with snakes sometimes. Yeah. And then this one is the Da Vinci Tarot. It's got some interesting cards. A lot of them are hard to read. They're kind of his illustrations or sketches assigned to the different tarot ones. So this is the 6 of water, which would be the 6 of cups. And they've got a keyword here for memory. And we do have like a mother and it looks like a baby here. So, I can see how, what they're going for with this one. Although I would probably be struggling if I just had this without anything else. All right, let's move on to the next group. All right, it's a shiny one. Let's put that over there. All right, this is from the Zen Tarot, which kind of has its own system, but I think this is the one that kind of corresponds to the 6 of Cups, so I just figured I would show it as well. You've got a person here, and this almost looks like a memory, maybe a memory of a family, her parents, or maybe this is the same person as her, and that's like a husband or a father. I'm not sure. I can't tell age in this one. Okay. But yeah, so you've got that like nostalgia feel. This is the Ghosts and Spirits Tarot, which is a little hit or miss, but I do enjoy it. It's a bit goofy, a bit crazy. It's kind of an older one, I think, like 2011. I guess it's older at this point. But anyways, you've got someone kind of rushing through the hallways here. You've got these little single, what are those called? The little single vases with a flower in it. We've got a moonlight scene. Usually a lot of them are sunny again, but yeah, let's look this up out of curiosity. It's just a little white book, but we'll see what's there. This one's actually on the cover of the little white book. Oh, okay. Yeah, each one is like a type of ghost or spirit, really, and they were nice enough to tell us which one, so they get 5,000 points for that, because I don't have to guess. So this is supposed to be revenants, to tie up loose ends. So yeah, that would definitely be the definition of unable to let go of something from the past. Looking to find closure and a peaceful exit. So this is probably a less positive interpretation generally, and would often be more of a cautionary card. So I like that one for variety. Well, let's see what else we got. Oh, this one here. What's the name of this one? Doo-doo-doo-doo. I like this one. The Ferenc tarot. Where is that? There it is. Okay, it's one of those Ferenc Pinter. I don't know how to say that. I really enjoy this one. I think there's there's some weird ones because it's basically this person's art that's just been applied to the tarot cards. But there's some gems. This one actually makes me think of a meme. Like, doesn't it look like a painting of a meme? Maybe like that little girl who's looking at the house burning down. Anyways, that's what I'm thinking of. But this one has very different imagery from the traditional. You do have an older person, and a younger one, but they're not facing each other. This one actually appears to be running away. He almost looks kind of dressed like the hermit, so I guess you could make those sorts of comparisons. But this could be a person running away from their past. Yeah, very different. Let's see what the guidebook says. It's just a little white book here. Six of Cups. Yeah, asks us to imagine a world of possibilities where even the things that frighten us hold their own excitement. Yeah. Oh, okay. There's wisdom to be found in the openness and enthusiasm of a child when fears begin adventures. Okay. Yeah, I guess you could say it. If the adult's running off, maybe we should think about how a child would respond to the situation. What else we got? Another weird one. We have the Nicoletta Ceccoli tarot. Another art tarot, I think. But one I think ends up working remarkably well. I keep bumping this thing. All of hers feature young children, usually young girls, and in this one you have, oh, this thing is still moving. Okay. And in this one you have a young girl who seems to be locked up in a tower, and a snake-like creature, maybe with some little like moth wings here, is showing her a mirror. So, is he showing her present self, the past, the future, a way to get out of this tower? There's kind of like a tree here and a snake and apples, so it does make me think kind of Adam and Eve, take a bite of this for wisdom type thing, take a bite to free yourself and to know, viewing that old story in a more positive way. But again, I don't really know. I'm just making this up, so you can do so as well. Feel free. No one can stop you. Let's see. What do we have here? This is the tarot. What is it called? The Tarot of... Found it. Okay, I know it had star, and it's a Star Spinner Tarot. This might also be referencing a fairy tale or a myth. Is it going to tell me which one? No, I bet it's not. Anyways, we've got, this one seems a little more romantic. We've got two older characters here. This one maybe seems to be a mermaid or a naiad of some sort. And then maybe like a knight in armor here. And we've got 6 fish instead of cups here, but they're still, they're representing the water element, so it works. Let's see if there's a story given here. I sure hope there is. There is not. Why would there be? So yeah, so in here they don't have a story or like a tale it's related to. It's just kind of got the standard description here. But again, they're always worth reading because they might phrase something in a way that really strikes a chord. Did we do all these? I think we did. Success. Wow, we're really doing the thing. What do we got next? All right, let's do stuff that has plants in it. You know what I mean? Just stuff with plants-ish. Let's put the shiny ones up here on an angle. Oh, does this need a helper too? Put it down there. There we go. Thank you, Gengar. I'll take this one. This is from the Tarot of Landscapes, where everything is just a landscape, no real characters in it. For this one, we've kind of got like a farm scene. It almost looks like we're inside a old building. Oh, what's it called when they're just like a ruin? Maybe like a ruin. We've got some like bricks here and a semblance of a wall. We do have some sort of roof. This almost looks like a hive, a beehive maybe, or something like that. And we do have some pumpkins in here, so it must not be fully covered. But we do have a swing here and a little wagon full of little, what looks like children's like block toys, like colorful block toys. So I do think this evokes, once you know the meaning of the card and you go, okay, nostalgia, memory, comparing your past and present, that sort of thing. It's okay to have that sort of pared down imagery. Let's do this one here. This is Antique Anatomy. I haven't worked with this one too much, but I really like how helpful they are. I mean, this can look kind of pippish at first glance, but once you look at it, it has basically guidelines for you. So, for promoting harmony, the sharing, the gifting that you see in other cards, for rekindling love, for past life regression, thinking about your past or your childhood, uncovering secrets, for encouraging comfort. So, yeah. And elixirs is the cups of this tarot. So, goes right to the point. And here we've got the 6 of lotuses, which this is more of an oracle, but it functions a lot like a tarot, and I think this would be the 6 of cups in there. So again, we've got lotuses. Let's look it up and see if what we've got. I do think it's interesting. They've got the water element here, and then you can see these little, they look like fins, and you could think of them as dolphins, or you could think of them as sharks, maybe. So, when you're in the deep waters of thinking about your past, maybe playful things surface, maybe scarier things come up. So, let me pull it up and see if it's got anything useful. I don't think we're going to get lucky because I only have this. I don't have the big book that you can get for it. So, Six of Lotus, familiarity, happy endings, and healing. Yeah, it's just the usual stuff. Okay, I mean, you know what? We're going to try the big book of symbols. You know, it says reflections on archetypal images. I would just like to say this isn't about, like, I kind of want, like, you know, keywords, meanings, whereas it more just gives history. But I think, you know, going off what it's kind of saying on this page is, I think they're often used to represent the divine. You know what I mean? And coming from the mud into beauty or divinity, because you know they grow in the water, they've got to be planted down in the mud. So you know. They are from the world and not separate of it. So, you know, Lotus lives in a murky mud bottom pond. So, yeah, enlightenment from a worldly start or something like that, you know. But let's just go with it. Okay. Doobity doo. What do we got here? This is probably the Wild Unknown. Yeah, I think so. So this one we've got the Six of Cups. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right, dummy. Got it upside down the whole time. Okay, so we've got the Six of Cups. We've got the present day tree, or rather, like what you see of the tree, but this is, you know, the length of the tree's life is shown in the depth and the length and the strength of the roots. So, you know, what lies underneath, what lies inside you, what lies, you know, in your childhood. So I think that's a really simple way to get to the heart of the card a lot of times. All right, got the Six of Water. This is the Herbcrafter's Tarot, which of course I'm sure you know by now. I have not studied this as much as I need to. So could I tell you why Barrage is Six of Water? I could not. So we are going straight to the guidebook. Let's see. And it's this handy dandy little one. Look how cheerful and colorful. Okay, let's get Six of Water. Oh, Barrage, I just saw it. There it is. Okay, so yes, I suppose we could assume that Barrage goes well with, you know, the concepts that are usually covered in the Six of Water, and yes. But yeah, gathering together, offering to one another, sharing, lightening the mood, a positive feel. Yeah, very Six of Water, and it does show, you know, a setting where we're sharing things together. And we've got another goddess statue. I think we had one earlier in another card as well. So kind of a common feature. Oh no, we didn't do this one. You already know we're going straight to the guidebook. We've got Pixie's Parasol for the Six of Cups, and this is the Midnight Mushroom Tarot. Maybe. I know I'm wrong about it. I was right. I was wrong. Midnight Magic is what it's called. One day I will get this right in one of these, and then you'll know I've actually played with it more than just a little. So, alright, so let's go to the Six of Cups. Okay, invites you to reminisce. Let's see. Yeah, permission to play. Maybe they just think it's a fun and whimsical looking mushroom. Maybe that's the main connection, because sometimes they'll tell you, like, you know, characteristics of it, but they're talking more about the appearance here. So it must just be that it's a fun and playful looking little mushroom. I will have to say I've never seen it in person. So, yep. All right. Oh, you know what? We are almost done. We have almost made it through. Okay. These ones, I can't really help you on this too much, right? I can't help you too much. These are ones that use different systems. And like, I think these are both Thoth-based decks. This This is the Urban Tarot. Well, let's just get started. This is the Urban Tarot, and I think in the Thoth, this is the Heaven and Earth Tarot. In the Thoth decks, the Pleasure is actually the name of this card. It's kind of the stand-in for the Six of Cups. So you can see this one uses super similar imagery, which is why I like this deck as a crossover. But you can see it also can go, maybe like more adult themed for that card. But I still think it would have the same sort of qualities, like even if you were thinking of it in like a sexy or romantic way, I think it would be tempered by the general positivity of that card. So like, you would be thinking maybe of something wholesome or healthy, like a first love or a really healthy relationship, or something, even if you're thinking like just straight up sex, maybe you're thinking, sex that made you feel good or made you feel good about yourself, or, you had a good time. It didn't tear you down or anything like that. It was a healthy exchange with someone, right? Let's see. This is the Mary L Tarot, which is, I think it's a highly different system. I haven't even started to look at it. I saw it at a store near me and I picked it up because I know I see it talked about all the time, but I don't honestly see it at my little tarot stores all the time, so I grabbed it. I think it's a beautiful and interesting card, but I couldn't help you out with it, but you have fun with that. If you know it and you want to think about it in conjunction with Six of Cups, you go right ahead. What's this one called? I know what it is. It's a new chapter one, and I think it's Thothy, and it's got like, neat watercolor imagery. So again, it's probably pleasure. I don't know, you got a seagull here, you got some cups, you got a big white flower. The white flower is pretty common. You got some, actually you have like a daisy chain in the back. That makes me think of childhood for sure. So, make of that what you will. This is the Tarot of Spirit, which again, I think, it kind of goes along, but really has its own system. This looks like quilting to me. Does this look like quilting to you? It's making me think of a quilt. Other than that, I got nothing for you. You're on your own. You are on your own. Okay. That is all of them. I don't think I have. Yeah, that is. I think we've gone through them all. I'm sorry if I did some a little underwhelmingly, but I do think given something to think about, or you can at least see the card and think about it and study it on your own. And I hope that's been helpful for you. I'm sorry for the long absence. I'll try and get back to posting more regularly. The reason I didn't post for so long was this was one of my month cards. I do like a year ahead spread at the beginning of each year, and I picked the Six of Cups and thought, oh well, it's a little happy little card. But for me, after everything was said and done, I think that it was sent to me that month to see if my image of the past and how I was interacting with my family was right. Whether I wanted to keep up the facade of, happy interactions, just talking about superficial things or whatever, or if I kind of wanted to make a stink about certain things. And I ended up deciding I wanted to cause trouble, I suppose. It's just one of those things where they go into the voting booth and choose things that aren't really great for everyone who doesn't look or live or love like they do. And so I decided to cut some ties over it. Apparently did take a long time to process and get myself back together onto a more normal routine. So, that's probably what I get for thinking that's a light, soft-hearted card. It really took me for a ride. But, I think generally it is a friendly, happy card. But I guess it can have some teeth. Anyways, I hope that was helpful to you guys. And yeah, I'll post all of the decks in the description, and I'll see you next time. Bye.